What it is, what it do, it's your boy Malu, and I'm coming to you with a brand new episode of Drink Mo. And today we'll be wrapping up Women's History Month with an anthropology on patriarchy and women's oppression. Alright, y'all, check me out. Where did this political ideology of oppressing women come from, right? Because we gotta understand, like, it can't be just a social way of things. You know what I mean? It can't just be, oh, males are stronger, women are weaker, so males dominate. Hoorah, bro. Nah, man, like, there's a lot that goes into the reality in which we're living now. We must be able to really break down this, because when it comes to women's oppression, it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? You want to help clean the environment and end systemic racism? Any ism and kism you want to dismantle. The full involvement of women in society, like, that shit is really imperative. So where did women's oppression come from, bro? I'd like to take a deep dive into where this came from. Where did it start? What was like a huge, mobilizing force for it, and with the full hope of knowing how we got here, we can know how to get out of it. Where do we start? How about this? About 15,000 years ago, they say 12 to 15,000 years ago, spontaneously, all over the world, people began to utilize agriculture. Now, I'm sure there's people doing a little agriculture here and there before that, but this is when anthropologically, when I say anthropologically, I mean when you study human beings from all over the world. So anthropologically speaking, this oppression against women, a lot of that can be seen with the adopting of agriculture. I know we all today, like, bro, I went to FAMU, you know what I'm saying, Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. So when I'm talking about agriculture, I understand that there's very, very strong feelings like agriculture. Nigga, what does agriculture have to do with patriarchy? What does agriculture have to do with women and oppression? But check me out. So for an extravagantly long time, Homo sapiens followed their food. You know what I'm saying? They follow the water, they follow the food. But with adoption of agriculture, people went from needing to follow their food to being able to just settle down. So with the growth of that civilization came the growth of warfare. You dig? Because as people began to acquire more, Jackboy season was on the horizon.
Run up in your spot like CJ from San Andreas.
And it's been shown that societies that are more prone to warfare are more prone to patriarchal structures. You know what I mean? Like that actual structure of egalitarianism, of equality between man and woman. It really starts going out the window when your society is based on bodying niggas. In a lot of ways, that whole hunter-gatherer society is not based off of strength. A lot of it's based off just mind and cooperation. You know what I'm saying? But that warlike culture, that warlike society, in a lot of ways, it does then go down to that brass tacks of shit. Who's stronger? And it wasn't just in Europe. Let me make this very clear. The advent of agriculture happened seemingly spontaneous all over the world. You know what I'm saying? India, Africa, the New World, Europe, everywhere, man.
Many peoples practiced agriculture, but they never had the delusion that what they were doing was right, that everyone in the world had to practice agriculture, that every last square yard of the planet had to be devoted to it.
But if we were to highlight some things from Europe...
How did they get to be this way? They got to be this way because they've always believed that what they were doing was right, and therefore to be done at any cost whatever. They've always believed that, like the gods, they know what's right to do and what's wrong to do, and what they're doing is right. They've demonstrated this by forcing everyone in the world to do what they do, to live the way they live.
So people already living super thuggish ruggish are then forced into a more thuggish ruggish situation with the advent of like that Caucasic culture. Man, them niggas from the Caucasus Mountains was wilding. We can even look at the greatest European, prehistorical European societies like the Greeks and the Romans. And we can look at them as like a measuring stick of how society had began to view women. One of the most historical mandates from like a soldier in those times was the fact that when they went to war, they brought no women. And a big part in that played when it came to landing on someone else's shores, pulling up on someone else's land. So it was literally open season on the women of unsuspecting tribes. Women literally became just a stone cold target, bruh, in the midst of warfare, specifically for these Europeans. Now, a big thing is, though, you had the Greeks who fell to the Romans. Then you had the Romans who killed Jesus and then later fall. And what truly fills that void, finally, after, some centuries in the dark, was Christianity. Until this meeting, the Council of Nicaea. So within this meeting, it's basically a gang of guys that came together and was like, this is how we think women should be. This is how women should move. This is how women should act. And a bunch of other things. You know what I'm saying? This is where they took books out of the Bible, the book of the Maccabees, the book of Mary Magdalene. They actually removed dance and shit from the Bible in this meeting. Another big part in just taking women out of the space. The original Bible itself actually talked about how God created man and woman at the same time, whereas they switched it to where it'd be like, no, God created man and then woman out of man's rib. A bunch of skullduggerous fuckery took place in this meeting, y'all. The point is this. Christianity wasn't coming to save women. And this is like in year 325. Another 1,000 years go by. And within this next 1,000 years, warfare continues to be the name of the day. And like I said before at the very beginning, war societies tend to be patriarchal as fuck. We come to the end.
Thank y'all for listening. If you made it this far, I really fuck with you.
So 1,000 years after the Council of Nicaea, you have a book being written in the year 1487. If that doesn't strike anything for you, this is literally 5 years before Columbus get on the boat and literally ruin the world. 5 years before that, though, a book is dropped by a cat named Kramer. The book is called, in English, The Witch's Hammer. The Witch's Hammer was to smash these witches, you know what I'm saying, or what they believed to be witches, which are really just other human beings that didn't believe in Jesus. You know what I mean? So within their matriarchal society, there's like real target number one type shit. And it's crazy, dog. Like there's a whole book on just how to torture women and the anti-woman handbook. But you got to understand, like 5 years before they got on the ocean and sought out to ruin the rest of the world, they had a whole war on their own women first. And I really think white women need to understand this, bro. It wasn't like this around the majority of the world, like even with the advent of agriculture, right?
If they got tired of being agriculturalists, if they found they didn't like where it was leading them, they were able to give it up. They didn't say, we've got to stick to this, even if it kills us.
The Mississippi Valley societies, the indigenous people of Mississippi, were a perfect example of that. You feel me? By the time the Europeans showed up in the Mississippi area, they found all kind of pyramids and mounds and shit totally evacuated. So it just showed that even these people on this side attempted that nation state kind of a situation. They was like, nah, this ain't for us. I just want to highlight these things because, man, especially when it comes to how women have just been attacked in this world, man, it's like so much of it ties into the culture that's running this world. This white supremacy, this Eurocentric culture is a vast contradiction, my G. It's a vast contradiction. I appreciate all the women. As a black man, you know, I came out the womb. I know what came first, you dig? So everybody out there, just one love, man, one heart. Be a little more gentle to your woman, man. Be a little more understanding, be a little more just present, and show love.
You stay cool like how you be cool, all right?
No doubt, baby.
All right, water.
Drink more water, darling.